y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I am your host, Melissa Sharee. We are here with our final bit of conversation, just kind of wrapping up with the one and only Patrice Perrone. Say hello.
Hello.
She's like, where are we going now? What are you going to talk to
What are
me
you going to ask me now?
about?
This is kind of fun. It's making me think about my whole entire life.
I love it. That's one thing I love. It makes you think, it makes me think, and it makes people that are listening think. So,
awesome.
Hey, we're all thinking.
I think a lot.
This is what's on my mind, I guess, my heart, based off of some of the things that you've said. Because with some of the language that you have used, like you've dropped appointed time, you've dropped calling, you've dropped, you were in prayer, like, you had been praying about something, I can't remember what it was, but you said you were in prayer. So it's like, these are all terms that one who's listening may or may not be familiar with. I mean, like, obviously you are a woman of faith. You're a woman who believes in God. You're a woman of, spirit. So I guess I kind of want to talk to you about that. Okay. Because it seems like a huge part of your journey as an artist and as a creative and as a mother, and who became a single mother after, the passing of your daughter's dad. And so... yeah, I mean, let's just speak to that, because I'm guessing that has, like, kept you. Like, it's grounded you, or, So how did you get to that place where you, like, acknowledge and recognized God as a force in your life?
So, I guess... just to kind of clarify, I know sometimes the terminology could put people off.
Yeah.
And that is not what I want to do at all. And I would say, speaking to creatives, right? We're made in the image of the Creator. Mm-hmm. So whatever you ascribe to, that's your choice, because we're given a beautiful gift of choice, right? Yeah. So I think... through my life, my personal life, I grew up raised in Catholicism, went to a Catholic school, so I always had an element of faith, and my faith was Jesus as a Christian. Mm-hmm. And then I went through a time of my life, probably like when I was 17, 18, of searching out, 19, 20, searching out. Even when I got married, I'm just searching out. And I think it's like understanding, and I would say I had more of an encounter with God and an understanding, and it's built upon relationship. So when I use that word, prayer, or what else was the other words I said? Whatever.
You said appointed time.
Appointed time.
You talked about calling.
Calling.
Prayer.
I think we're all created with a purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think... when you find out what that purpose is, and even if we long, I think every one of us, whatever, wherever we are longing to feel a purpose on this earth. We know we have an expiration date. Each one of us do. Mm-hmm. We don't know when that is. And so I think I came to even though, you're knowledgeable of it, but when you have an encounter with God, and I think that was also some things in my life that took place that I was just like, why is it just questioning? And I did believe in a God, a higher power. I believed in Jesus Christ, and sometimes I searched others prior to really coming to, no, this is it. Like coming back around, this is it. He is that to me. The Spirit of God is about the earth, and He's in me, and I understand it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was kind of one of those conversions, maybe. And I personally made a decision and to follow that. Now, again, I say that because, I started, seeking them out in church and in people, and we can all get in a religious mindset, and kind of do the due diligence. But there's something really important about holding that base for a relationship with him, because he is your creator, and he's the one who made you. So he knows all the parts. He knows all the ins and outs. We don't know. Really, we don't. We can have a comprehension or understanding, but we don't know. So even as I'm telling you that, I have to remind myself, like, hey, you know what? I don't know. But there's one who does know, and you know, he's spirit. I'm spirit. You're spirit. All of our flesh goes on, like, dies, but our spirit lives on. That's the truth that I know. And, you know, I believe as we start to have a quest for God, you know, the whole time he's pursuing us. So I think this is this like beautiful love relationship, honestly. Even in the ups and downs, and you know, we're friends too. So you know, you can hear my angst and my frustrations at times because I've shared with you, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, it matters, but it really doesn't matter because this is who I am, and he created me, and I don't know. We don't really know, but the best we can do is stay aligned with the purpose and the one who created us. So we get the insight of what that is.
So talk to me. That was very beautifully articulated. Like,
Well, thank you very much.
I felt that. I felt that in my soul.
Well, and everybody else listening feel it too. Ask the questions. I don't know.
I felt that in my soul.
I literally, like, when we're talking, you know, like, I don't want to like, something for me is like, you know, I don't want to be like a religious gong that really doesn't like that really doesn't express like love and all the things that, you know, today our world is like, people are searching and they're in a need of they're questioning, and I feel like it's a beautiful time to keep questioning, and the one who you're questioning will show up in your life and you will have truth. How's that?
Mic drop on that. You know what? Okay, so now there's two things coming up for me.
Do we really have to end our conversations now?
I know, right? I always tell people, I'll have you back on.
Okay.
And then, but, okay, so I'm thinking about, when we first started talking, and you were talking about being an artist and being a creative and all the classes you were taking, and how, like, it was good for your soul, you know? And so, I don't know where I'm going with this exactly, but I feel like, you know, there's something about your soul being fed and your connection, you know, to spirit. Like, how does that blend together for you? Like, are they one and the same, or are they different?
You
just took a deep turn.
Well, my understanding is that, you know, our soul is our mind, will, and emotion, right? And we can be driven by our mind, our will, and our emotions, right? And spirit is a separate entity, and the obvious is our body, you know, and they operate as one. And so, to me, it's kind of like one of those, like, things that when they're in correlation or unison, like, there's some kind of harmony that goes on inside of us. And one without the other kind of feels this disconnect. And through life, we experience these disconnects. It doesn't mean, oh, I've come to this place and you stay in that place. No, it's life. Life is messy. Life is a beautiful mess. It can be chaotic. It can be all the things. But, you know, our spirit, I think what I've learned about understanding my spirit is that's where the Holy Spirit, if you will, the Spirit of God, my Creator, our Creator, speaks to us in our spirit. And so, like, and He speaks to us personally, and He works with us personally because He designed us. And He knows the outcome. So as people that are creatives, because I feel like we're all creative.
Yeah.
You know, we're all artists at some level, even though you might not identify with being an artist, right? We all are, because we're made in the image of the Creator, the one who creates. And through us, He wants to create. And whatever that looks like on the earth, if it's a mathematical problem that needs to be solved, well, that's the creative force operating through us. So you're a creative, even if you don't identify with painting or music or the arts in the expression of, you know, those kind of
like
genres.
It's like a typical traditional
Yeah.
sense.
Does that make sense? So I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you're on a roll. You are on a roll, okay, with your articulation.
Okay. Thank you. It took me a while.
So, real quick, I do want you to speak to, because there was a phrase that you said where you talked about holding a space to have relationship with the Creator. And so, can you share with us, like, what that looks like for you? Like, how do you hold a space and have relationship with your Creator, like, in a practical sense? Because that's building you up spiritually, right?
Yeah.
And it continues to do so. So what does that look like for you?
I think it looks like a lot of different things. For me, when I say holding a space, it could be just simply sitting in a chair and just quiet.
Yeah.
Like I just went this past weekend to a place in North Carolina where that was like totally woods, and it just had this like very quiet, and it took me to go there to sit in the woods with quiet. But I know intentionally I went there holding a space to hear. I brought a sketch pad. Like I don't take the time because drawing or painting takes time, and I love it. I just don't because everything else is speaking to me, but I was holding a space. I started writing. So I think, that's one way of holding a space. We can get out of our everyday, and it can be anywhere, and you don't have to go off somewhere. But it can also be like being mindful of, you could walk in a room of a crowd of people and already have this, like, I'm holding space. Like, I'm holding a space because I need to hear, I need to know, like, you're guiding my space, and I'm holding a space for you to move, however you want to move. So it could be you're in a room of a party or wherever, or even just hanging out with you. I'm holding a space right now for God to speak through us. Like, I'm holding a space. So holding a space can be many things, right? You just have to be intentionally, hey, I know, like, I'm inclining my ears, so to speak, my spiritual sensory, to be able to pause. And then that's when we can really hear another person. That's where the art of listening comes. We can be talking and still have the art of listening. So I think there's a lot of elements that come to place for me with that term, holding a space. Yeah. Does that answer?
It definitely answers. I love it.
I don't think there's one way to hold a space that you have to go, you got to go here, and do this, and do that, and, like, whatever, or, it, like, sometimes singing, dancing, like an expression. Like, I love just dancing, that's holding a space, because I think all of those expressions of love and what we love and unto our Creator, actually, it's like, I see it more like it's not just this way, it's